passion, I time and I effort, I rest. The brothers give me the fear, the premise from there. The work with my life without fear.
I live
Master.
Play Paris, who make on you, I can't ask it if you bring you. Say my journey, Tina can ask say my jamo. And you say no money, and more I you. And you love me, more I
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I can't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I can't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I don't get it now ya to money. That's the baby, and I don't get it now. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking for podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out part of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to sell. The passion, the time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the premise from best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside to Raji to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat to San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
We are the best. Sktv, it is the best. Folks, what a way to go and say the blessing. Good evening to all of you out there, channel listeners. Yeah, so something's going on. Let me just take this break. Let me see some kind of video we're going to play. Yeah, something is going on somewhere. All right. Okay, so again, let me say the wonderful good evening to all of you people. Yes, indeed. Good evening. Good evening. Let me see. I want to take this break on this video about our president addressing the ATF UN. Yeah. Sorry to try hard to get that set. Okay.
To remain a bridge to peace a development partner, and a defender of human rights. Over the next 80 years, we will continue to honor the promise of 1945 by renewing our commitment to a world where peace is just, development is inclusive, and dignity is universal. Thank you.
Thank God we already solved that problem. Again, folks, good evening. Please, let's share the show. We will play that full video for those of you, if not all. Maybe we'll just play some, or maybe if I will talk about some of the happening from the president address to the world on the stage of the UN, yes, indeed, of the UNG. So again, folks, good evening. A pleasant good evening. Today is the 24th of September, the 9th month, and the year remains the same, 2025. Let me say a wonderful good evening to all of you, our cherished listeners. Please, let's share the show. Those of you who are joining, and those of you who've been with us, please, let's share the show. Yes, indeed, it's 6 minutes past 6. That's the time check. Let's share the show, people. We want to at least 2 to 3 to 400, and we can start. But today is just about random discussions, open mic. I guess there's so many things to talk about. So many things happening around the world. Something happening in Malawi and so forth. And yes, so many things. Some of the president of the province. Look, this life is interesting. Sometimes we hear about the rejected stone. That's what is interesting. Some don't throw some of your old gown away, because after maybe the people reject you, sometimes they will come back and say, and final, maybe no man. That go back for Mabel. Then my brother Robert, and we again I will come back. Yeah, they were campaigning for me. Let me tell you, like James David, good. These are people that, even though they will reject me, but when they go up there after some time, they say, no, we're gonna go back for me. But I would again, Edward, good. These are people. These people I trust them. For me, I trust these people. Like Robert, James, and would again, brother Edward, Bushers, I trust them. Yeah, I trust them. But again, the people that have been rejected, even in the great US, they're now becoming the cornerstone. Oh, they like, look. For me, I just like all this. But again, folks, good evening. Let's share the show. People, yeah, myself, I'm doing that. Brother Ali will soon join us. Let me see. I will bring Brother Ali on in a jiffy. He will soon join us here. Please, let's share the show. So many things to talk about. Maybe you will talk about the president talking about the war crime court. That indeed they need money, they need help from the international community to establish the war crime court. Or you will talk about the former president horse that, yes, indeed, last night or this morning, that there was a fire incident that happened at the home of the former president. Maybe you will talk about the economy. Maybe you will talk about some of the happening, or maybe you will talk about the arson attack on the Capitol building, and that case is still ongoing. Maybe you have so many things on your docket that you want to talk about, but we'll play some video about life, the way we treat people, our own personal reaction to people, even no matter how good they want, or maybe they are to us, but because of politics, sometimes we go beyond our bounds and so forth. And after that, sometimes we'll come back to realizations and confess. So we'll play some video coming from some of our, our good brother, even though chairman, the social chairman laboring as one of the person who will do, but the or in fact going the junk. Well, yeah, but for a social chairman. So we'll play this video coming from Stephen Wetherspoon talking about his own interactions, his own experience with the former president and so forth. And these are, look, people can tell people there's life after politics. After politics, you'll be on the change of ideas, convincing people to be on your side. But instead, we just insult. That's one of the things we do here in our politics. We insult. No, but I don't think that's the best thing to do. We insult, we attack people, and you don't know tomorrow. Maybe that person may even be a great help to you. But again, the young people, the youth, none of there is not easy, with the politics and politics. And even though they get some of the ideas from the older one, but some of our young people now who are 18, 19, and 20, I don't think they saw the war, no. And so sometimes we gotta forget what the war story now. You're thinking about how to develop our country, educate our young people so that they can be thinking that in fact that the old folks were failure because of our observing. By the way, Brother Ali just joining us. Brother Ali, good evening.
Yeah, Mayborn, good afternoon from my end. How you doing? How's the family? How's Mama Labira?
Well, I'm doing great. Thank God. The family, everybody fine. We are all good to go. Mama Labio is okay, apart from the rainfall this morning that started. I think someone would say maybe 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, better still 4 o'clock, and the rain started falling. And because of that, this morning there were a lot of flooding to some communities, some surroundings, including Central Monrovia, to be precise, Vartown community, the Do community ended, and so for all of the area, even the Freeport, are usual, always whenever there's little rainfall, most of the places always get flooded. So indeed, there were a lot of rain well, everywhere, and the flooding was just everywhere this morning, and the citizens was into their own way of getting up the water as well cause back to back and so forth. Mind you, when this kind of thing happen, the citizens are nowhere else to go, but the media to inform the media about some of the situation things happening to them. So apart from the rainfall, my dear brother, and last night, because the president time that was given to him, by that time I think it was between uh, 11 o'clock here in Liberia. So the president was, in fact, the president did address the war through the UNGA Assembly, and he said a lot of things, including the war crime code, that the war leaders or the war should or help or support the war crime code. So apart from that, my brother, with the incident at the home of the former president, this morning we woke up with the news that the former president horse was on fire this morning, and by God could make it. We got in fact we got reports that the fire was quenched either by bartender or fire service or so forth. But thank God that nothing major. But again, we also saw a press release also coming from the CDC party, also saying all things. But again, maybe we'll check through on that press release and read that there are a lot of mixed reaction to that, to the incident rather at the home of the former president. Others are throwing accused fingers and so forth, and on either side, we in a country that is usually political. So yeah, so far so good, my dear brother. So many things happening there. Outside of Liberia, I think you're following the other news also from Malawi, where the former president has been, in fact, been giving the service again for the second time after he was rejected, according to the electoral body, that indeed their former president won the elections. So there are series of celebration in Malawi and so forth. But so far so good. We are good to go, my dear brother. And today is just about open mic. So many things to talk about. Maybe you have your own thing that you want to talk about. Someone else, and our people who are also following us through the internet, they can also comment and tell us exactly what on their mind. But so far so good. These are things. So everything.
Yeah, thank you. Thank God, my man. Things are okay gradually. Again, good afternoon to our listening audience and followers. Yeah, these are all important things. Yes, to know what's happening around the world, and also congratulations to the people of Malawi for re-electing their former president. So that is it. Things are turning around in the world. Mong, what's up? How you doing, bro?
Well, I'm doing great. Nice to be here. Another day to be alive. We gotta be thankful and grateful. When I was growing up, at a certain point in time, I thought death was for older people. It seemed that the younger people are dying in huge number than the older people. One of my brother from here, I posted on my wall yesterday, Osano Watson. He died. I don't know the cause of his death, but it came across as very shocking for someone who was doing great. Age wise and from a health standpoint, I don't know how he died. But it just made me to question a lot of things. And I don't know. I don't know if because of social media or maybe something is happening around the world today that totally changed the trajectory. Because when I was growing up, you expect for older people to die. That's just a natural life cycle. We were babies, we will grow up into adolescence and youth and then adult, and then we get old and die. But it seems like the younger people are dying left and right. And I got my own theory. I'm not a medical doctor, but I can see a pattern, I can see a trend, especially in our community. I don't know about other community because back in the day, like I said, when a young person died, maybe from drowning, car accident, but not from health related issue. Because the more younger you are, the younger you are, the more vibrant you're supposed to be. But looking at the number of young people that are dying, even in my own community, like we got people posting all here and there, but people being seriously sick. I don't know why is it caused. I don't know. I have no idea. But like I said, every day you take it one day at a time, and you just thank God for being alive because we cannot make sense of it at the moment. The exponential rate at which young people are dying, left and right. I don't know.
Yeah, myself, I had that same thought when I was coming up as a child. I felt myself that we will just grow up when we get old now. Maybe that's the time we will die. I had that same mindset. Like even last night, my cousin and I were just discussing the same thing. You are planning your life. You want to do this. You want to do that. You don't know when you are going to die. And when I saw that post, I was like, "Yeah, wow, this guy too young." You see, but again, our condolences to the family. I saw that post. I say, wow, even
Aliu,
doing it.
let me say something, right? Maybe some people might find it offensive. One thing I noticed in Liberia and the trend over there, because of economic anxiety and because of stress and so many issues, I know there are so many contributing factors. The healthcare system in that country is not up to standard. And it's one of the reasons people live longer when you got a better healthcare system. That's why it helps to increase your life expectancy. Two things in Liberia. When you reach age 35, I tell people what I learned from here, from other medical professionals. Once you reach the age of 35, everything about your body changes. Your hormonal balance, your vitamins, your minerals, your blood vessels, your arteries, they all start to shrink. You start getting more fatigue, your energy levels start getting lower. You start declining because your body cannot produce things naturally anymore. That how people resort to supplement and the change of lifestyle, like watching your diet and exercise, and all these things plays toward your longevity. The one thing I was having, like, bro, people drink liquor every single day of the week.
It's a pleasure. When you can drink, you are not a big boy, you are not a big girl.
Yeah.
Mistake,
Yeah.
pleasure. Go to Sierra Leone,
Mhm.
when you can, you are not a big boy, you are not a big girl. So the people
Yeah.
in Sierra, they smoke more than they drink. So
Yeah.
you, like, when you go to Sierra Leone, people will be offering you liquor because they believe that Liberians drink and Sierra Leoneans smoke. So when you can drink in Liberia, you big boy, you big girl. So when you can smoke in Sierra Leone, so that's how it looks.
Those two things, right? They are natural killer, right?
Yes.
We know, when things are difficult, you cannot afford a balanced diet. We eat carbohydrate and starch almost every day, right? We eat rice. Rice is our staple. And not too many people can afford a balanced diet. So when you're talking about sugar, and then you add liquor on that every single day of the week. Like, bro, like the first day of the work week, Monday, people stay in entertainment center like every day. It almost like a way of life. So as you age and you are not having a balanced diet, you don't exercise like you're supposed to your lifestyle in terms of your nutrition, and you add liquor on it every single day of the week. Why do you think it's most likely to happen? And don't forget, liquor is nothing but sugar and yeast combined. And we don't have good regulation in our country. We got all the imported beer from here and there, Shintao, China. People don't even know what they are drinking. And I believe that could be a major, because there was an article that we read here one time on the show concerning the whole thing about diabetes and blood pressure in like blood, how people are going to the hospital in Nima County because they had certain individuals that were trained to tackle the issue of diabetes as opposed to other medical and treatment centers in the country. So it could be a leading cause because the thing about diabetes too, diabetes is a slow killer, right? It affects your eyesight. It could cause you amputation. They could cut your legs from diabetes. Diabetes can give you a poor circulation and you could die from a heart attack or get a stroke because stroke is just blood not circulating in the brain. That's why you call stroke. And when you don't have blood plumbing to the heart, you call it heart attack. So, and heart attack happens to be the number one killer now worldwide. So people got to take care of their heart more than any organ in the body, I tell you, because it's almost like the engine. So if you are drinking liquor every day, you're eating starchy food every day, you are not exercising regularly, then more than likely you might die. Because I don't know where the culture of excessive drinking comes from, that you are not even having a balance there. You are most of the time stressed out. That is a leading factor of also diabetes and blood pressure. Stress is one of the leading causes of most sicknesses and disease. So I can see the trend why young people are also dying too. I don't think it's something extra. I think it's just the lifestyle and the way we conduct ourselves when it comes to the excessive drinking, the food that we eat, no exercise, extra stress, economic anxiety. All these things help to shorten your lifespan. I'm not saying that's why he died, but I'm seeing a trend because this whole idea of young people dying now more than older people, there has to be something that is leading that. There are certain drivers that is causing this thing to happen. So I believe that could be a potential. Go ahead, Mabel. I think you want to say something. Let me stop there.
Yes, and let me just add to you, Mark. I think that's just the fact. You just knew it because most of our young people, exactly that's what they are into. You know, and for me, I even get things like because young person who some of them they either 17, 18, 19, they're supposed to be thinking about how to study the lesson, thinking about how to compete with their peer out there when it comes to academic or so forth. But they are the one you see every night in the clubs. Then I feel like, well, what's going on? And so more, you are quite correct. The young people now they drink more than even other older folks. So when you in your 20s, 30s, and you start to drink the just the more, and the system that's supposed to operate freely, but just because of the alcohol and the alcohol more, people don't know that there is difference between the alcohol and the water. The water will flush out all of the fluids that are not good for the system, but for the alcohol, no, it's just there. So either a war somewhere where the blood of something's going to pass and no way for that, maybe for the blood to freely pass. So because of that, you will start to develop something. And when you're not careful, that will lead you to your death. So mom, that's just the fact. But when this thing happen, we look for witchcraft. All of our point or all of our talking, everything we into witchcraft. That is because of witchcraft they killed this guy or they killed this girl just because she was making progress. Now we see it. Because during those days, we don't used to see our older folks, monk, drinking the way we are drinking.
Oh, yes, for sure. And maybe here's the thing. We don't test for this thing regularly. That's the difference, like you talk about healthcare and investing into healthcare. Even in this great United States, we got more than 17 to 18 million people that are diabetic without them even knowing because they don't even test regularly. So I'm talking about the great US that got access to food and medication, all that. So think about country like Liberia. And one thing people don't realize, right? There is a difference when you eat a food meal, or aliu, and when you're drinking liquor, right? Sure. 75% of our body is made of water, right? Our whole body internally is water, right? When you eat the food, it takes time for your body to break down the food before you can extract the mineral. The bad thing about liquor is it's already in liquid form. The moment you drink liquor, it goes directly into your bloodstream. So your body don't exactly have to break it down before you can feel the impact. It's already in liquid form. So think about taking in yeast and sugar every single day of the week. It means that at a certain point in time, you are going to damage all your internal organs, your liver, your pancreas, your gallbladder, your kidney, all going to be destroyed from excess sugar in your body. So I can see why young people are dying too, because I have never seen this level of intoxication when it comes to liquor and smoking and this unhealthy way of living. This generation has taken it to a whole different level. When I was growing up in Liberia, it was very hard to see a young woman with big stomach. These days, it's common. It's something that I observed. You will never see a young girl with a floppy belly.
Let me know if you got your mug. I was sitting somewhere, and that was a competition on yesterday between them. They were like, my stomach is big. I don't know what should I do. All of them, the other one will come up and say the same thing. So I told them, I said, either you stop eating late and learn to take exercise. But mom, that's another topic by itself that I don't get it how most of our women, mom, and you're right. Most of them are not there now.
Most of the women I noticed back home, their stomach is out of bound. It's big. And it comes from the excessive drinking because beer, right? Like I said, beer is mostly from fermentation. It's yeast and sugar. I don't think it's from the food. I know you can eat late. Eating late is not a good thing either, but I'm talking about the impact on your body. You will see it mostly from liquor. And when you get that funny looking belly hanging in front of you, it's just a sign that some of your organ in the body is not operating, not functioning well. And the leading cause will be mostly liquor.
Yes, that's one of the leading cause of those women growing big stomach. And again, there are some people, they don't even know their blood type, and they are drinking liquor. At the same time, they are taking this family planning, macro-lube, macro-gino, all of those funny things, because why they don't want to get pregnant. At the same time, you're drinking liquor. These are some of the things that make them to be having those big stomach. And those things make you sometimes at the end of the day, you start to get growth, and then you have to go for operation. You're drinking liquor, you taking macro-lube, you taking macro-gino because you say you want to prevent yourself from pregnancy. And some of them, they're taking this thing 2, 3, 4 months, they don't even say receive. You see, so all that blood sitting in you at the same time you're drinking liquor. So this is not good, but some of them, they don't know. And you just said something about the healthcare system in our country. And these are some of the things we have been talking over and over from one government to another. Nobody is interested in putting money into the healthcare so that we can get quality healthcare in the country. Why? Because government officials, whenever they are sick, they take them from out of the country. Like I'm seeing in the live feed, they just rush the vice president out of the country right now because of his health condition. Why? You think if they were putting money in the healthcare sector, we have quality healthcare system in the country? What the essence of living in the country? But these are some of the things. Now they are taking out of the country, tomorrow another person. The healthcare is very poor. How many people in Liberia go for checkup? Nobody. Today you go Liberia, you see 20-year-old, you see 19, 17-year-old children, 12-year-old children drinking liquor all in the street. But you and I here, even sometimes you go to the club, you have to show your ID. Because at the age of 21, before you can drink liquor, if you will drink it, you will know. Because nowhere you will go for them to serve you liquor while you below the age of 21. You and I know that in this country. You can do whatsoever you want to do. Maybe if you will drink liquor, maybe your parents, when they're drinking, but you can't go to no club yet below the age of 21 for them to serve you liquor or for you to even enter there. Or even to go to a shop, nobody will serve you. When I was doing delivery in this country, sometimes when you're going to deliver alcohol, when you get to the person, they have to give you their ID to make sure that person is above the age of 21 before you can deliver that order to them. Other than that, you can deliver it to them, you have to take it back. But today, as I said, drinking liquor has become a sport in Liberia. Some of us, I can't drink, they say we are close, we are this, we are that.
You're not big born. You can fit the mold, you can fit the crowd. You can get that social status if you're now.
Yes, indeed. So even though you mentioned about the VP, but we haven't getting any report on that, so we don't want to speculate because this country of ours, like I said, sometimes politics and so forth. But again, so we don't want to speculate before they say SKTV say no. So again, according to Brother Aliu said that in the comment section. So please.
Me that even as Karagwe posted, other people are posting that they should pray for the VP. They just
indeed. Yeah, indeed. I saw some of the posts, but like I was saying, I was reading through some of the comments. Even I saw the VP page, official page, also commenting if I'm laughing. So for me, I don't want to, yeah, I don't want us to, maybe before they say we come here again to wish anybody. But again, you are right. These are speculations that are going on, but we haven't yet been confirmed about he's in the UK. We don't know whether he's sick or not, but he's in the UK. But again, me just add up quickly to our sister Dakota Shema. Yes, I know that some of you, today mom we are near the on the head, but that's the fact that Monja brought up. But most of you are mothers or sisters, and that's the fact. Sometimes if you don't observe these things today, listen to us carefully and understand that some of the reason that day where you see sometimes you see some of the men are running away because usually people know men to be the people that carry be bedding, right, Monk?
Yeah, more likely, yeah.
So to see our mothers or our sisters now that they carry the same baby, then who
And maybe yet another thing I observed, right? Back in the day, when you got big belly, it means you are big boy, you are big shot. It means you are enjoying, you are making money, right? Because your stomach also will be the identity. It's to identify you as someone who is doing better in life. But it was actually sickness. So back in the day for men, when you get big stomach, then people respect you the most because they feel that you're doing well financially. Okay. But the one thing that I noticed, like I said, for me, I can pay close attention. I can observe a lot. And I'm looking at a trend. Our papa there, growing up, they would drink on the weekend, maybe on a Friday, they would take their late thing. The difference now is every day. You see most people taking pictures, and social media now have given you more leverage to see things happening simultaneously from all over the world. You see someone in a beer parlor on a Monday. Tuesday, someone's drinking. Wednesday. I mean, it's one thing to drink on the weekends, but it's another thing to drink every day of your life throughout the week. So the problem here is if you know you don't have better healthcare system in the country, then it means you got to watch your lifestyle. You got to be more disciplined. Because in the worst case scenario, you might end up being the victim because the healthcare system is not there. And more than likely, we will always get sick, especially when you are getting older as you age. Once you pass 30s, going to your 40s, now you're not going up then and you're coming down. That's just how life is. Because that's why our lifespan will be 70 years. So when you pass 35, I mean you already have time of your life. Looking at the numbers of the years you so spend on time, you can go above 70, but not too many people is guaranteed to go 70 or above. But 70 will be the demarcation line. So if you are, like I said, intoxicating your body every single day of the week with liquor.
Maybe my uncle want to chip in on a social issue and maybe because during that day they really used to join the power. Yeah, Uncle Granta, that you are alive. Go ahead. You want to chip in on the social issues?
Oh no, I was not getting you off on the radio. That's why I tried to find out.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you. Yeah, so we all right. Yeah, go ahead, Monk.
So like I was saying, then you got to be your own security. You got to take a preventative measure because the healthcare system is not there, so you cannot be careless. It means there is no room for mistake because your life is on the line. And one thing people don't understand, the more intoxicated you are, trust me, most of the time for men, when you get drunk, what the next thing you want to do? You want to have sex.
Oh yeah. And
okay. Let me learn.
Yeah.
Let me learn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Most often when you are drunk, the next thing for men, most men, when they drink liquor, when they can no longer control themselves, the next thing they want is sex. And in having that sex, most of the time, I can guarantee you 8 out of every 10 times, it will be unprotected sex. Because first of all, your judgment is already impaired by liquor, right? So when it comes to discipline, you're not factoring in discipline because you're under the influence of alcohol. And don't forget about sexual transmitted diseases as well. So not only your age, not only your body composition or what you're experiencing metabolically, not only the diabetes and the blood pressure and the liquor, we're also adding STDs to the mix. So now you got an idea as to why young people keep dying now in huge number because the lifestyle alone, I have never seen it before. Back in the day, to see a woman drinking in public, it was something that never happened. I didn't see it that much. Wherein you go to a bar or a nightclub, right? You would never, because it was more of a cultural issue that women, even though
they think not sports.
Come on, man. They can live on the beer bottle with 2 hands. They say that you think that men drinking, bro.
You know that sports.
It was not.
And you're right, Monk, because most of the time, if I'm more people sleep even to the club. People will be at the club up to 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, what? What kind of enjoyment is that? That you will be to a club up to 6 o'clock in the morning. Monk, is that normal? Are you not also taking in call? Because look, Monk, you said something here that weird. Because even let's assume that you are enjoying, but also in your enjoyment, you are also taking in sickness. Because even be at that place from 7 in the evening, for example, or 8 o'clock in the evening, up to 5 o'clock in the morning, or 6 o'clock in the morning, you are definitely taking in call with you, Mark. I think that also, these are some of the reasons why young people
You bet to Sierra Leone before?
No.
Okay, you know the people in Sierra Leone, they go to club at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night. That's the time they go to club, because you don't go to club and come home. So people go to club, you see them coming home sometimes 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. So that's the system our Liberian people are taking now. When they go to club, they sleep there in the morning, you see them coming home. Because that the people who not system, you don't go to club 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. No, they go to club mid.
And the other entertainment part of look, we are living some entertainment mode, we don't sleep. What kind of entertainment? In fact, you just talk about Friday, but most of the entertainment center Monday, they
throughout the week.
Tuesday, look, the music sound.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's even in our horses. Some of them,
in Melbourne, and here's the thing. Apart from drinking the liquor, apart from the risks, that's what I'm saying. The economic anxiety alone, the stress. You wake up in the morning, you don't have a job, you're not optimistic about the future, right? That alone, the stress alone is already killing you. The balanced diet alone is also killing you. Then you add in liquor on it. So if you would start drinking in your mid-20s, I can guarantee you, if you start drinking excessively before you reach your mid-30s, you will be a dead person. That it's not magic, it's not rocket science, it's just common sense. If you are drinking excessively you start at 20s, in your 20s, and you're doing it almost every other day or almost every day, I can guarantee you that by the time you reach 35 or 40, you'll be a dead man. That's just it. So now I got an idea as to why young people are dying.
For some of you on our side, we can really work hard for your money. Because let me be free, and that's just the fact. You send them your money instead of them thinking about how to transform their lives. They will go to club. And these are same people that will even be insulting other people on the internet. They have free money. People get them free money.
Let's say my mom, I celebrate my birthday. At my age now, but people will call me to send them money.
Yeah, to celebrate their
birthday. Yeah, they want to carry their friend there up. Ready? I'm gonna send you money to go to club to go drink liquor to celebrate your birthday. I don't pay attention to this.
Maybe Ali just says on the profile about the whole birthday, right? You know, I born June 11. Since I've been doing myself, if you go back on the calendar, my birthday either fall on a Tuesday or on a Thursday. And in this country, we are very busy. I can't even remember the last time. The most I would do, maybe on a weekend. That's when I was working and doing a regular job. Maybe on the weekend, I would get a plane ticket and go out of state to go spend time with people, or my relative or family, and just travel. But my birthday always fall on a working day. So for that reason, I'm not used to the birthday celebration, because sometimes I can remember one time I was working, right? I was so busy that week that June 11 came around. It was my listener that called me to remind me of my birthday. So Ali is saying it. Ali is saying the truth. Those people that focus more on their birthday just to find a way to drink liquor, and they will create everything for entertainment just to drink. But anyway, guys, that's it. I'll stop there for now.
Yeah, because the social chairman here, Steve, is not around. But thank you, Mark. Actually, everything that we say here today, I think we got to do this thing every Wednesday. Come on and be able to educate all of us, because health is wealth. If you don't have health, or maybe good health, most definitely, I think then all the money that you look, or maybe that you are looking for, or you want to have, you may not even enjoy your money. So I think we got to take time on how we go about with these things. Some of us who are maybe in the habits, and to our mothers and sisters, you got to take exercise, because there are other people too who don't easily drink more. They don't drink. They don't, do anything, but they also carry the big belly. So you gotta just take exercise, because it's not just normal. Demonstrated something in your system that not, I don't know, corresponding with more.
Let me tell you something, my brother. Women were not getting big bellies. But send the thing about family planning came in existence. These day women, that's one of the things I giving them big bellies. I'm telling you. And you see, they taking those things here in America, even birth control. Before women go take it, they had to know your blood type, they had to know your medical record before they give it to you. Because all of these things get side effect. The one that suits you, the one they're going to give you. But our sister, they don't know this thing. They just go, they don't even say no, how their body is looking there. They just go in and be taking the thing. You know what I mean? You take something that you're supposed to receive Monday and stop it from receiving 3 to 4 months before. Now the family planning we start seeing women growing belly. But if you are a woman, just stop taking that thing, you will see.
Oh, and that's true. I didn't say another thing you mug.
Most of them know. Most of them know. So women will say, "Oh, I can't tell family planning you." As soon as I start taking them, my stomach can start growing. Some of them know, but they still taking it. They know.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Well, so that's it, my people. Even though I know some of our sisters who also are into some of these things, sometimes they quote forget like most stated. Sometimes when they're in alcohol or in fact, anytime anything can happen. So they always.
Oh, but most of the time when you get drunk, nothing that come to mind. That's for sure. Maybe when you eat or someone for you drink, the next thing you want to do is you want to have sex. That's just part of human nature. That's everyday thing. So it's not like we are making up stories here. That's the reality.
Well, Mark, let's move. So many things to talk about, especially when it comes to other politics. But thank God, at least we start the show with social issues. And quickly, Mom, before we conclude with this social issue, there are these statements also coming from the statement with us. I don't know whether you follow, but the video also was trending about his own interactions with former President Weah, that indeed was the more coolest person, according to him. But Mark, purposely, the reason why I'm asking you and Brother Ali this question is our interactions with people and the way we behave to people after some interactions. Politicians, they go through these things, even talk about Arizona comics, the same thing after people playing back to back. But let's see how people behave, or in fact people interactions with people more after that close connections. And just because of politics, and you play them anyhow you want to, and after some time later on, you start to say, okay, my people are politics, and I mean what I say and this and that. But Mom, what say you?
Well, for me, I don't label politicians like that because for me, or social skills or social intelligence, some people, for them, they come naturally. And if you hang around, if people who hang around or hung around George Weah, they know his personality. He's a cool guy. George Weah can come anywhere and people will gravitate to him naturally. He would fit anywhere. He would make the necessary adjustment. I mean, for us in Minnesota, so many times, Weah came here, we hang out with him from the late PC. He asked George Weah, he said, "You know, Patrick Che, with that yet? I want to hear big boy from back home. I want to hear childhood friend." And when Manny come here, sometimes we'll go to the airport and go and pick it up. When he asked, he said, "No picking Cyrus or Zuba or Ansel." He would name everybody from here because we interact on the personal level, from the soccer field, social gathering to PC house. So I can tell you for sure, I know President Weah. When it comes to that, it's something that you would gravitate towards him, and he would fit. Like I said, he would adjust in any situation. There were so many days. I bet you, if you had a chance to speak to Weah, asking, George would come to Minnesota. Sometimes he would rent a hotel downtown, the Radisson Hotel, and he would come to a gathering where we'll be lecturing, and he would stay there all night. Can you imagine a guy who ran a hotel? He won't go back to the hotel because of the lecture. The normal day lecture, the IE lecture, the Lone Star lecture, that's something he will really, really get glued to. But that's just who he is. But just because we are people's president and he got that kind of a social skill, you cannot assume that everybody will be the same. Some people grew up in a whole different environment. They got different personality. So I cannot use that. I cannot use his social skills or that ability to attract people to say, "Oh, I'm going to use it as a means to gauge his performances in public office." So if you want to talk about social skill, no, I don't think any of the presidential candidates will match in that department. I don't think so. Any one of them will come close because I've seen it firsthand, not only on one occasion, not two occasions, not three times. I've seen it on multiple times. So if that would be the basis on which we are going to judge President Weah, then more than likely he will win every election, because in that particular category or in that department, I can name anyone that ran for the presidency in recent memory that were marching in that regard. No, I don't think so.
But let's look at people's reactions, Mark, because this is not only unique. Before Brother Ali come on, this is not only unique maybe to President Weah, but also to you and myself, as normal. Because sometimes, Mark, people will get glued to you. In fact, you will do things for them, show them love and everything. But at the end of the day, Mark, they will do things like, in fact, they haven't seen you before.
You mean regular people, or are you talking about
public? Yes, regular, because all of these things go back to us as regular people also. Yes, go ahead, Mark.
Like I said, it's all about people upbringing, right? We all have different orientation. Some of us, we grew up in communities where we hang around other people. We play sports. We want to be in, like, maybe growing up in Labrador. One of the things that were big during the 90s or after the war was academic challenge. People found pleasure in it. It's not only about the activity, it's all about the kind of experiences you gain from that, right? You in the social gathering. That's why some people can talk about any other topic, right? Whether it's politics, whether it's sport, because they are sociable. They go places, they fit in, they blend in, they remember people, they know names, they remember date. That just for people, it comes naturally. Some people learn it. Over time, the more they interact, the more they get glued to other people. But the whole idea about being appreciated, no, for some people, no. Everybody is different, right? So you cannot assume that because Melbourne can do something or Cyrus can do something, I will assume that Ali is going to be the same. Maybe Ali is an introvert. He's somebody who grew up in a quiet neighborhood, or he never socialized. And all these skills you learn them over time. Even though for few people it comes naturally, but not for everyone. So there will be people who appreciate. Some people got respect for older elderly people. That's why anytime on the show I say, let the old hand in call. I want to hear from the older people, because growing up for me, even though I used to hang out with young people in school, but most of the people I used to offend around to were also older people, because I want to hear about the way backstory, some of the history, their experiences, and ask them some questions. So I cannot assume that, just because Cyrus grew up hanging out with some older folks and he got a sense of cultural awareness, I won't assume that other people will be the same. We are all different.
Yes, thank you, Steve Bode. I understand, but I don't think that's where I'm going. But anyway, thank to Peter Stewart. I think she getting some of the points that we're really trying to email, because we live in a global village. We live in a small world that we need each other. But after some time, we behave to one another like we haven't seen.
What you mean? You're talking about deceit? You're talking
more. I'm not talking about human life, because I know that all of us, this thing happen to us. That's what I'm saying. Because sometimes we behave beyond ourselves and make things look like, okay, sorry, though, it's politics, it's this, it's that. No, for me, I don't see. But I think sometimes we do these things to bring out our own true color towards that person who been good to us, or who been so nice to us, Mark.
But I think what's better that you play the video so I get an idea, because I was talking generally. I didn't know that you're talking about personal interaction and deceit. I don't know which context.
So let me play the video. Let me play the video quickly. Then Brother Ali will also come in. Oh, I don't know. The video has been minted. Wow. All right. So I think we get to the other original video and see how best to get it. Yeah, but go ahead, Mark. That's exactly why our
they got people that are very ungrateful. They got people that benefited from that some of them were able to get jobs in government today, and their reaction or their behavior, I mean, it might be different. They got even people that were advocating for that never benefited from him, as opposed to people. And this thing happened. They are part of human nature, like I said. They got people, even in the Bible, right? You read about the parable of the 10 lepers, that they were healed, only one came back to appreciate. Why do you think those stories are written in the Bible? They are just part of human nature. So this idea that you expect people to be like you, no, it cannot be. That's why when you want to do something, when you want to be generous, don't do it with the intention of getting something back in return. Just do it out of your pure heart, because look, you will go beyond the call of duty for some people, but trust me, they won't appreciate. Matter of fact, they will be your arch enemies. They will even go and blackmail you and make it look like a demon. So you got to expect that. Look, there were people, right? Even soccer players in the Weah circle, picking them growing up from the young professional, from the IE, former friend, young survivor. There are people that we are here. And when you see them talking bad about him or negatively about him, you won't even believe that some of them were beneficiary of his how you call it, his kind gesture. So, like I said, at the end of the day, it all comes to the individual. We cannot use that to gauge your behavior. Cannot be used to gauge another man's reaction. You were trained differently. You were groomed differently. You came out in a whole different environment. So I cannot expect other people to be like you. So she said it right. There are a lot of deceitful people. And some of them will even throw you under the bus in the worst case scenario just to make themselves look good, even though they benefited from your gesture. But trust me, they are your arch enemy. And when you are successful, my brother, not everybody are happy for you. They got some people who are even mad that you made it in life. So you got to expect that as well. You got to expect people who will oppose you just because you are able to excel in life. So all these things, like I said, just human condition is human nature. So you can't take them personally. You just move on in life because there will always be people who will behave like that. No matter what you do, there will be people who will be there to bring you down. So that's it.
But Ali, what say you?
Yeah, maybe I listened to Monk and Monk just said it, and I listened to that video from Stanton. Yeah, because he was saying all of the lecture, they criticize Josh Weah, they said so many things about Josh Weah. And then when they went to Liberia State, they may call them, sat down with them, they ate and they had conversation for more than up to 5 hours. So these are things that he was saying. This is how a leader is supposed to be. With everything they said about him, they will sit down on their platform. They said so many things, but they were surprised to go to Liberia, and then they were able to welcome them, sat down with them, even to attend the program. His luggage left behind, and Joe we are sent them to area that they could go and get clothes, but he couldn't do it. He said no, he never wanted to go and get any clothes because is that he wanted to use the clothes that he carried. And later on, they were invited again by George Weah. But at that time, he was already about to come. So who would really do that? Somebody that you say all kind of things, you castigate them, you say all kind of things about their government, like you criticize them, and at the end of the day, the person will say, he will still sit with you to have conversation with you, you all eat together. So these are things he was talking, and Monk just said it. Even apart from that, that's why people always say your best friend are your secret enemy, because there are some people you can really do for, and when they're ready to betray you, you can't even say get over it. But everybody get that outbreaking. Probably that's how Josh Weah look. No matter what you say about him, when you get to him, he cares less to say, oh, you said this about me, and you open arms to you. It is up to you to decide now that your conscience. Now I said all this thing about Monk, but yet they say I got to Monk. And he didn't even say bring the conversation. We sat down, we lecture, we ate everything. So he leave you with your conscience, and that's how you can be a leader, and then you want to hold people at heart. No, everybody had their right to any political party, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. So that one cannot make you to go against people, and that's just what he was trying to say. And
Well, good. Yes, thanks to all of you. Actually, that's a very good response. So, in short, to all of our brothers and sisters out there who see politics as a way of hate, who want to use politics to hate other people, to insult other people, to low down on other people just because of politics. No, I think you are getting things wrong because you don't know exactly who's going to be that savior for you, and you don't know who's going to be that helper in your life. So you got to be careful. But again, more quickly, we have about 7 more minutes. Let's go back to our president or address on last evening in the at the UNGA, where you talk about the war crimes code. They issue a war crime code out.
The man is saying that the seal Labro occupies on the non-permanent member is an African Sikh. He's calling for collaboration with ECOWAS and the UN to attack global issue. But the basic down payment of Labroso made, you're appealing for people to come and finance the war crimes court. But don't forget, it requires money to run the war crimes court, and Labro also carried a fiduciary responsibility to make certain payment in order to facilitate the operation of the court. And it's going to be $2 million per year. Up to now, I think the court only received 300,000, and the government cannot even meet her own responsibility. So I don't know how you can appeal to the international community and put pressure on them for them to come and finance the war crimes code when you just say you cannot even meet the bare minimum to get the process going. Because at least when you put it forward, it's almost like, maybe you say you the kid you on a boat, and you say you put your bed, and you give you that put your bed down, you want for to come and put a bed, you calling for the bed. I guess why but like I said, this thing, all the international conferences, most of the time, they are just for theatrics. They are not there for solution. It's just about coming here, being part of the delegation, the photo ops. But at the end of the day, in reality, when you look at the situation on ground, forces, these speeches that they will come and give you, they are totally disconnected from reality. So Jonathan Baka, no one day conference is over. They get on their respective flight and head back home. It's business as usual. That's just what it is. It's almost like a tradition. And you know, it's not about result. It's all about tradition that we want to do this thing every year in September. So we just attend just for the sake of attending. But when you look at the reality, like I said, it's disconnected. And that's just why it is. They're not serious. They're not ready for prime time, my brother. They get kicking the can down the road and buying enough time. Nothing extra.
But Ali, what say you? I think almost if I get something out of my mind, if I buy your time. But again, but Ali, quickly, what say you with the president calling on the international community to come and Ali be a help to the War Crime Court? And but Ali Mon just stated that in fact our government has sent in their initial contribution of 300,000. So, but what say you? Do you think that we will achieve this War Crime Court, or we just using the War Crime Court as a way of getting votes from our people?
Maybe since the late senator died, may his soul rest in peace. Me, I believe that the whole War Crime Court is just a show way now. They will just be talking about it. They will just be talking about it till 2029. They go to election year, and we see who will be the next president. The dependency syndrome. That's why I can't understand that everything you will ask people to come and help your way. Nothing you can do, like Mon just said. You have to tell the people, oh yeah, this is how much I get. Let them know how much you get. At least you should be happy like 60 to 70%. Then they can come and help you with the balance 30 to 40%. But you want to say that your own work crack is supposed to spend $2 million a year. You give it 300,000. That you to come you. And the wasteful spending you're carrying on in the country. You see? So the whole issue of a War Crime Code, that why people will say, oh, for me, I know it was just pre-justice was just the target. Now pre-justice, nobody in the face. They even say after those other people. That's why we always say, for me, I don't have no interest in War Crime Code. I have more interest in the economic code. So that those people that we will bring to power, representatives, senators, ministers, directors, that will steal our money, we should prosecute them, that will serve as precedent for the next administration. That's why when President Baka took over, he started going after our former officials. I was very happy. Yes, but unfortunately, your hair can be in the cooking jar and said that you're going after people. I really supported that idea. We elect you. You never came to government to come and steal. So I was very happy with President Baka when he started going after past government officials. So I'm more interested in economic code than War Crime Code. So that they will just be talking to my brother. It's not going to hold.
Well, thank you. We got to go for the news break, but if I let more already put it, more just said it. You can't say you want for people to be ahead to you, but then you just put that kind of small amount of money. But anyway,
but that screen that way is not new. They were the same man that for the arrest agenda, they said they needed to target certain amount, but they want for the international community to pay, I think, 80% of the president's agenda, because I know when you have an agenda, you're the ones who finance your agenda. It's almost like you call to a party, Ali and myself, then you say, we the ones who come and sponsor the party that you are calling for. It's the same thing. So it's not new for this president. And one thing I remember when the lady, or Betty Vinsage, when she went to Liberia, that OK FM studio she conducted, she said the war economic crime is more economical than when it comes to war crime, because they are only few individuals.
So Mark, you and Ali can hold on. I think you're going to be discussing that. Let's go for the news break. Then we'll join you people. I know how you see it.
No, we'll get come after the news break. I'll take break too when you guys go for a break.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So then let's go for the break. Thank you so much.
You cannot claim to be the United Nations while disregarding the voice of 54 nations. It is not possible. Africa is no longer willing to wait on the margins of global governance while decisions about peace, security, and development are made without our understanding, without our perspectives, and without our voice. Africa's exclusion is not only unacceptable, unfair, and grossly unjust, it also undermines the very credibility of the United Nations, this organization. Africa dominates most of the Security Council agenda, provides some of the largest contingents of UN peacekeeping forces, and bears the heaviest costs of instability. Yet we remain the only continent without a permanent seat at the main table where decisions about our destiny are made.
From Duporo in Pinsville, welcome to RCR News Bulletin at 7. I am Sheikh Sano. In the headlines, the Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA, through its taxpayer service divisions, has concluded an extensive 8-day tax education and stakeholder engagement campaign across Grand Cape Mount and Bombay counties. The Millennium Challenge Corporation's MCC delegation is exploring key growth sectors in Liberia ahead of a possible second compact. And the Coalitions for Democratic Change, CDC, has strongly condemned a recent fire incident at the residence of former President George Weah on September 23, 2025, let out describing it as a premeditated attack on his life. Those were the headlines in the news. Now the details. The Liberia Revenue Authority, through its taxpayer services divisions, has concluded an extensive 8-day tax education and stakeholder engagement campaign across Grand Cape Mount and Bombay counties. The initiative aims to raise tax awareness, educate citizens, especially business owners, and strengthening tax compliance. Topics covered included taxpayer obligations, small business taxes, withholding tax on rent, businesses and personal income taxes, real property tax, tax clearance certificates, and business registration procedures. The outreach covered multiple communities from Lofa Bridgetown to Kinjo in Cape Mount County and from Tokmanbre to Ba Jake in Bombay. LR is manager for banking services and team lead for the campaign. James Kokolo emphasized the importance of taxpayer understanding and its link to national development. Stakeholders praised the initiative and encouraged more frequent education sessions. The LRA reiterated that tax education is key to boosting compliance and revenue, helping move Liberia closer to its goals of collecting $1 million in domestic revenue. The Millennium Challenge Corporation's delegation is exploring key growth sectors in Liberia ahead of a possible second compact. The head of the delegation, Karik Monaha, said their mission is to engage with relevant authorities as MCC's board of directors prepare to consider Liberia in December for selections into a second compact. Speaking Wednesday during a meeting with officials at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, Madam Monaha expressed gratitude for the warm welcome accorded the team since their arrival in the country. She noted that the delegation is also in Liberia to discuss the binding constraint to economic growth the nation currently faces. According to her, engagements will help identify sectors and opportunities that could not only drive Liberia's economic growth, but also benefit the United States. She added how Liberia as a country have wonderful investment opportunities, but cautions about areas they can find that they are true win-win for both countries. The Coalition for Democratic Change, CDC, has strongly condemned a recent fire incident at the residence of former President George Weah on September 23, 2025, let out, describing it as a premeditated attack on his life. The party believes This incident was intended to undermine Weah's safety and destabilize the nation's peace. CDC, one of the Liberia's major political parties, cited previous incidents of violence and intimidations, including an attack or alleged attack on CDC partisans and supporters at the Rabat International Airport during Weah's return to Liberia, stressing that armed police officers were stationed at the airport during his recent entry, resulting in an alleged brutal treatment of several CDC supporters. According to a press release from the party, CDC accused the ruling Unity Party of spreading disinformation and misinformation, including circulating a fake AI-generated image purporting to show we as bare room. The party viewed this as a calculated attempt to mislead the public and tarnish a former president's image. In a passionate and rational plea, the Congress for Democratic Change has called for a forensic, international, and independent investigation into the incident to reveal the truth and ensure justice is served. The party disclosed that the former president Weah is safe and in good health. The Congress for Democratic Change cautions against alleged quick actions and urges all actors to respect human life, democratic principles, and the rule of law. Prosecution's lawyer claims sufficient evidence warns defense to prepare for Friday as criminal court A judge Reservoir Willie denied 32 counts motions filed by defense lawyer to suppress evidence submitted by the prosecutions. Speaking to journalists shortly after the judge's ruling, the Liberian Solicitor General, Counsel Augustine Fayard, disclosed that the motions to suppress evidence of alleged theft of tools and already been ruled on by the judge, paving the way for the trial to commence. Counsel Fayard dismissed claims circulating on social media in some media outlets that reference a U.S. report suggesting the case favor the defendants. According to him, such reports are misleading and not reflective of the fight before the court. Responding to allegations of sodomy that earlier surfaced, Counsel Willie clarified that individuals allegedly involved had already denied such claims, cautioning the origins of the information. The prosecutor further stressed that his focus remained on court proceeding rather than public debate. Counsel Willie also acknowledged that the defense team had taken an exception to the judge's ruling on the motion, but noted that the case is now set for the proceeding. Following the judge's questions on the ongoing trial, former House Speaker Funati Kofa cautions the credibility of the evidence presented by the prosecution, describing it as insufficient to sustain guilty verdict. According to Representative Kofa, the prosecution lacks critical elements such as eyewitness testimony, surveillance of footage, or forensic evidence, fingerprint, footprint, or hair fibers that could directly link the accused to the alleged crimes. The Rock Christian Academy in Dwazo, Magibi County has awarded more than 350 scholarships to children in need within the community. According to the Board of Trustees, as a Christian organization, Rock Christian Academy finds it essential to support students whose families struggle to afford school fee. The Academy Board Chair James Brooks emphasized the importance of setting aside political and personal differences to ensure that children gain access to quality education, which is vital for the growth of families and the nations. Chairman Brooks said children are the future of the country and they must be empowered to eventually take over leadership roles from the current generations. The Ghana's Township former commissioner warned that failure to educate children of Liberia, it will have long-term negative consequences for the nations. He added that the Board of Trustees will continue to engage with relevant institutions and partners to raise additional funds to access more children in enrolling for the current school year. And in a heart-warming display of generosity, Assistant Labor Minister for Statistics, Jason Wallaber, has donated 285 pairs of slippers to vulnerable groups, health workers, and children in Zozo District, Lofa County as humanitarian aid. The donations was made on September 24, 2025, while on a visit to his ancestral town, Zelimar, and was attended by Unity Party Zozo District Chairman Bala Kokoli, who joined Minister Walba for the donations. Minister Walba emphasized his dedication to serving the community, stressing that the contribution is aimed to appreciate the efforts of health workers and help to vulnerable populations in the district. He urged local health officials and community authority to reach out to his office for assistance in any area where intervention is needed, underscoring his passion to support the communities. Meanwhile, during the presentations, it is reported that district health team received a total of 105 pairs of slippers to support health workers in their duties. And the disabled and vulnerable community in Zulu time received 60 pairs of rubber slippers to bring relief and comfort. Also, children in Wakisu and Bokoza times receive a total of 120 pairs of slippers, 60 per each time to ensure their well-being and safety. For his part, Zozo District Unity Party Chairman Kokoli expressed gratitude for the minister's contributions to the scenery in that part of Lofa County, underlining the donation as a significant step and part of the Unity Party ongoing effort to connect with grassroots community. To end this news bulletin, here are the headlines once again. The Liberian Revenue Authority, through its Taxpayer Services Divisions, has concluded an extensive 8-day tax education and stakeholders engagement campaign across Grand Cape Mount and Bombay County. The Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC delegation is exploring key growth sectors in Liberia ahead of a possible second compact. And the Coalition for Democratic Change CDC has strongly condemned a recent fire incident at the residence of former President George Weah on September 23, 2025 late hour, describing it as a premeditated attack on his life. RCR News Bulletin at 7. I'm Sheikh Sano. Good evening.
Who cannot claim to be the United Nations while disregarding the voice of 54 nations. It is not possible. Africa is no longer willing to wait on the margins of global governance while decisions about peace, security, and development are made without our understanding, without our perspectives, and without our voice. Africa's exclusion is not only unacceptable, unfair, and grossly unjust, it also undermines the very credibility of the United Nations, this organization. Africa dominates most of the Security Council agenda, provides some of the largest contingents of UN peacekeeping forces, and bears the heaviest costs of instability. Yet we remain the only continent without a permanent seat at the main table where decisions about our destiny are made. You cannot claim to be the United Nations while disregarding the voice of 54 nations. It is not possible. Africa is no longer willing to wait on the margins of global governance while decisions about peace, security, and development are made without our understanding, without our perspectives, and without our voice. Africa.
Yeah, so we're back, Mark, after the news break. I don't know whether you people are following. If so, what are some of the things that you people capture from the news bulletin? If not, then we continue with the discussion. Mark or Brother Adi, any of you?
Or maybe, yes, I follow the news bulletin, but these are just the same thing of lay one Capitol building case, the former president, horse last night, all of these things. Like Capitol building case, as I said from the beginning, if Funati Kufa will not do what they're supposed to do, they will just sit over there and see them getting rotten in jail. The only thing I will always advise them, you get international lawyer involved into this case. This case is highly political. Now you know the justice minister or chief justice, all these people work at the will and pleasure of the president. The moment the Capitol building got burned, no investigation was conducted. The next day, Joseph Boakai, he said, "This is an awesome." Where have you seen that? So no matter how it is, those people will not deviate from the president's statement. They will do everything in the interest of the president. So they are, if those people cannot involve international lawyers into this case, that they will get their eyes on it, I'll let to be talking about the case, maybe for me, it's up to Funatico partner. I wish them well. He's a seasoned lawyer. He know what he's doing. Let's discuss why affecting Liberia. That's what I have.
More, what say you? More?
By there, you doing something.
I think Monk is a little bit basic, but Mr. Cannon just joining us. Mr. Cannon coming on after the news break. That's good. Mr. Cannon, good evening and welcome.
Mr. Cannon, let you juice.
I want to say thank you to you guys. I was actually following the show, maybe I listened to the news bulletin in its entirety. I was also following, but actually, when I started following, Mo was ending his comment, so I didn't hear everything. And I listened to Brother Ali's own statement about, our people, the tendency of always asking or expecting from other people as opposed to we doing something for ourselves. I listened to that. But overall, I'm very much intrigued by the news presenter. In Liberia and some underdeveloped countries, our people suffer a lot. They are not privileged to a lot of things, especially when it comes to news presentation. Nowadays there are a lot of equipments that provide you something they call here a teleprompter. There are some app now that can even help you have a teleprompter wherein you insert the news in there. Where the camera is, the news is being, read, and you're looking directly at the camera. A lot of people feel like people can be looking at the camera. No, they're not looking at the camera. They can be looking at the news. As the writing can be going up or down, depending how you want to control it. Some people like their own to be going down. Some people like their own to be going up. But whatever the case is, our people, they don't have that capacity. And they are very strong and smart to be able to read the news the way they've been doing it. For the most part, I just want to make this clarification. Most of the people that can be reading the news, we are bringing them on live video simply because we have the opportunity to work with them. For the purpose of the news, the main consumer of the news are the people who are not seeing them. Whether they're looking at the camera or they're looking behind them or they're looking in front of them or they're hearing their voices, that's what they care about. They listen to the news. They can hear what they're saying in the news. Because it's a radio. What's happening in the radio station, we don't know that. On the television, on the TV station, people can have the privilege to, the opportunity to see the people, giving news in real time. Because it's a TV or you have camera in there. But if it's just going to be a radio station, people don't really pay attention to that. So I want to give it up to all of these people in Liberia for being, actually under-equipped and be able to do presentation as they've been doing it. I must give them, I'm going to give it to them. So something I listened to in the news that also caught my attention this whole idea of fire, fire being at the former president's house, whatever that sparked that problem or whoever behind it, whether we don't know whether it's a natural disaster or somebody is a man-made disaster. We have no idea. But whatever the case is, it's regrettable, it's sad, and I hate to see things like that. I want us to talk politics, make our case to our people, without being violent or going to the extreme of trying to destroy somebody's life or somebody's property. It's not nice. I just want to know something here quickly before I yield back, to you guys. Is that the Unity Party government still want to run against the CDC? The Unity Party government is doing everything to make the CDC as relevant as they can, to make sure that their major opponent is the CDC, because for them it will be a binary choice between them and the CDC, being the two failed governments in recent time. So they are doing everything. What they did the last time, try to call attention on Jowia's arrival and CDC going to receive their leader. They carry armed police to create unnecessary tension, to make it look like Jowia coming to overthrow the government, to make it look like something big is about to happen. The man, Jowia, he said, we're not necessary. He said, I'm a prophet. He said, I'm a free citizen. I can come in and go out at will. Nobody really supposed to do anything, but the United Party, they are doing that to make it look like their own opponent is CDC and George Weah. But I got a news for them. No. You have other political parties. And currently, you have the CMC that is dominating the cycle of politics in Liberia. And the Liberian people are gravitating heavily towards the CMC. Both of you, people have enough. So right now, all my concern is about the Unity Party failure to deliver to our people. Stop distracting people. Stop witch hunting your opponents. Stop creating fake information, fake news where there's no news. So I believe, I don't have fact to this, but everything going on in that country, whether it's distraction, whether creating problems, whether attacking people, I blame the Unity Party for it, because they have no objective, they have no agenda. They are not doing anything when it comes to deliverable or doing anything to set the stage for themselves for 2029. Everything they are doing is all about destruction, stealing people money, creating problems here and there, and witch hunting people. I just want to say that, Memo. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Mr. Kane. Even though you joined us a little bit late, but we've been discussing a series of issues. But the last issue before the news break was the president address at the UNGA, where you were talking about the war crime court. And mind you, the Sktv, we were also able here once upon a time to also interview one of the person that were brought into the country by them to also talk about the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. But up to date, nothing has been done. And always most of our leaders, especially when you talk about the previous government, also used the War and Economic Crimes Court as a campaign tool, and also this current government also used the same thing. But Mr. Kane, the question that we've been asking each other here is, do you really think that the War Crime Court will, or in our layman term, we can say it will hold, or it's just another political bluff or political tools that our politicians will always use?
So the War Crime Court can only be important when Joe Biden go to the United Nations General Assembly. Since Joe Biden talked about it last year, September, what have you seen in terms of bringing the War Crown Code to fruition. What have you saying? Nothing. And the target for the War Crown Code was Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson is no more. Some people are mentioning Alaji Kroma. Alaji Kroma was the head of Yolimbo. Alaji Kroma is no more. And a host of other people that were targets of the so-called War Crown Code. I agree with Ali. Economic Crimes Code is more important and vital to the well-being of Liberia right now more than anything that has to do with War Crime Code. Because most of the idea or species of War Crimes Code has been about lip service, and also it has been used as a tool to get to power. By the time they get to power, it's no longer relevant. We have experienced this from the past and the current. So the idea of War Crime Code, I don't see it coming. The only time they will do it unless somebody who could be potentially prosecuted for the War Crime Code, one of those people then try to show their muscle or criticize the government one day, just as they've seen Prince Johnson as a threat to their government, then they will elevate the War Crime Code. They will talk about it some more. Instead to put fear in that person, when that person dies or that person, keep quiet, then they will continue with their stealing, from the Liberian people. Yeah, I don't see it coming. I don't think there's any genuine quest for establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code. Everything is about lip service, trying to buy time. Also, every time they come to the United Nations General Assembly, like Mon said, they are treating these things as event, but not any kind of plan or substantive agenda to deliver to the Liberian people. They use it as a way of coming to beg for the United Nations people and other international donors. But there's nothing there for Liberia, as always. But overall, Joe Baka and the people of the government, they really made us shame. It was a disgrace. But Joe Baka not to know that he's supposed to be, giving time. Joe Baka is not new, he's not young. He's been to these functions times without number. For him to be reading why the market's off was disgraceful. For you people not to know that the president is supposed to be time. He's supposed to, finish at a certain time. And they went to get him a whole history book to kind of read to the people, forgetting to know that other people are supposed to be speaking as well. That was a disgrace. And I saw somebody saying, Joia say he was now a fan of football, but he liked the game. Or Joia say, I played the game. Taking that as important issue, sharing that on Facebook, talking about those things on social media, they want to prove our point that Unity Party people, they are so deceptive, they are good at distraction, and they are less busy, bunch of apologies and praise singers. How can you want to distract people from what's happening in the United Nations, where the president is disgracing our country, where the president is lying to the people that they are already empowered 3,800 market women, which is a lie. Everything that the president said over there, nothing is backed by fact, nothing is traceable. Everything was cosmetic, approach to to come and present themselves as a good government that is doing something for our people. It's disgraceful, and Liberian people should be ashamed of this government, but Unity Party people more should be ashamed of themselves and their president.
Let me stop you right there. We get accurate information on Sktv. It's 36,000 women entrepreneurs in 6 countries. So just so the number is right, before they say
yeah, exactly. So that number is right. That's what he said. But these things they're not testable. It's completely false. It was all meant to come and present themselves as people that have been working, where we know that they have been just stealing, corrupting the country, and the country people are so. Ali, there are a lot of schools coming open right now. There are a lot of mothers. They can't even afford to pay for the children's school fee. But Joseph Baca and people are spending millions of dollars daily, spending money, traveling here and there. You know, so you know, so I can see Joseph Baca and the government, they have nothing over to Liberia, but they will be making things worse for themselves. Because what they are doing, they are not focusing on any developmental agenda. Everything they are doing is all about fighting, and also fighting to to reserve all the position for themselves, so to perpetuate their and leverage the stealing that they are doing right now and keep distracting us.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Kana. Mark, so we're back after the news break. We were calling your attention, but like you were a little bit on some things. But again, Mark, so that proceed. But maybe you just want to chip in on the war crime code issue before moving to this issue of this holding and pulling between, in fact, with the Capitol building issue. Maybe Mr. Kana also, because he talked about people, the government, whenever they have maybe interest in something and you want to maybe hold fast to that, they will do everything possible maybe to make or maybe to weaken you. Like for example, you talk about the war crimes code issue, and even to the LPRC issues between Musa Asambelete, and so many things have been happening with other people who are also disagreeing with this government. But I move back more with this holding and pulling between five members of the lower house who are part of the minority bloc that were accused, and their case still dragging, even though today the evidence now the defending lawyers or the defense team pray for that's supposed to be suppressed have been overturned by the court. But what say you, Mark, with all of these things?
Well, I will speak to the one where Sekou just elaborated on the whole thing about coming to the UN. For the incident with the lawmakers and the fire issue, don't forget it happened during the House impasse, right? During the Fanatikofa saga. So you got a lot of wasting tampering, and you got a lot of people meddling with evidences. So I'm not even following it again anymore. I'm not interested in that story. It's not that I'm not only interested, but I'm not following it because I think it's just another distraction too, where the government want to cover up and people from the other side want to cover up. So you're not going to get anything better. They are the one in power. They can manipulate the judiciary process. So just forget about that. But Mr. Kanye said something profound. It's all about lies. Like I said, we talked about this on the show lengthily yesterday, that these occasional or these kind of conferences, they are just becoming like a tradition. You just come up with a speech and you just give a speech. Nobody cared. But I saw the video from Roland Ruto from Kenya. And it was the same thing we've been saying. Maybe apparently listen to Sktv. I don't know whether he has access to Sktv in Kenya. But that's what we've been saying. Africa, these people don't respect you because you don't concentrate on your domestic policy. You want to let the white men to set the agenda for the forward movement of your country. And they don't have regard for you. You are now a major economic power. You are now a major military power. You cannot change the global chessboard. What African countries should be doing is to focus on your domestic policy to make your people's life better. Maybe when you forget about these globalist institutions, maybe your people will start appreciating you more. When you start putting in place laws that will make the country better, you start mitigating corruption, you start improving their life, infrastructure-wise, people will say, yeah, Africa got a reason for us to focus on them. But can you imagine? We are founding members of these globalist institutions. We are not even permanent members. How can you have a United Nations? And matter of fact, a country like abroad, not only part of UN, we're part of the League of Nations. Do you know when the League of Nations was founded, maybe during World War I, 1914? We were there. And now you want to give me non-permanent seat. And you want me to celebrate a non-permanent seat. Why is it only the major global power giving permanent seat? Even though we've been on the board since 1914. What that tell you? They have no regard for you. Matter of fact, when they are giving speakers, those people walk out of the house. They don't see them, like they don't give them that respect. So the thing I don't understand, but I believe Roland Ruto were brave enough to come and snatch them. We are the only continent with the most countries in the world. We got 54 independent African states. And you can't even give her a single permanent seat. You give her a non-permanent seat. You are almost like saying that we are just nothing but also a broadcaster anyway. We are less important. So I don't know why our leaders take this occasion or this event very seriously. Look, when there is a time for the world to assemble to challenge, to face global challenges, we will assemble until then. Maybe I believe in a simple philosophy. I'm a nationalist. I'm now a globalist. We all have different challenges. We all have different goals. We are not the same in terms of resources. We will never be the same. If you cannot be strong at home, you cannot be strong to the outside world. You got to be strong at home first before you can project your strength to other people and to the outside world. So President Bouaka and the rest of the African leader, I think you heard it from Roland Ruto himself, it's about time you guys start thinking outside the box. It's not working. It never worked for the past 70 years. I don't think it will work now. You've been on the permanent, not permanent, you've been at the UN way before UN was founded, like I said, since the day of the League of Nations, from Woodrow Wilson, because Woodrow Wilson was the president of America during World War I. You were there, and up to now, you cannot even get a permanency. So I just don't see it. And the final point I will make before turning it over to you guys was the issue of the distraction and Unity Party always fencing their chances against CDC. That's just why it's all about. They will use this war crime code. The war crime code is nothing but a rare meat. And when they were targeting Prince Johnson, maybe the reason they target Prince Johnson, the war crime code has always been about politics, never been about bringing about justice, right? The reason Prince Johnson was always targeted is not because he committed the most atrocity in Liberia. It's because he came from a vote-rich county. So they were using it as how they call it, as leverage to get his support to propel them to the presidency. That's the only reason they made Prince Johnson the poster child of the War and Economic Crimes Court. But there are more criminals that cause major damage to Liberia economically than Prince Johnson can ever dream of. But guess what? Why you think it was all about him? Because from a political standpoint, they thought they could benefit by making him the poster child. That's why Nema County was successful in deciding the last 4 elections dating back to 2005 from the days of Madam Sally. So Prince Johnson being a patriot was never about justice. It was always about politics. I just want for the listening audience to understand that portion.
Yeah, thank you. But Ali, quickly before we go to Mr. Khan, what say you? With all of these things, the welcome code, our leaders always going to these places. He just gave me some sheets or piece of papers in front of
they didn't even get teleprompter. They can't even get in teleprompter reading from papers.
More people be talking serious in Bucket Villan. Well, I want to say you,
yeah, but as I said before going for the news break, I'm not interested in war crime code. I'm more interested in economic crime code. That war crime code, I don't have time for that thing. The people that steal our country money that may will continue passing around begging, where we bring the other government, we bring representatives, senator, minister, director, they steal, they leave us suffering. These are the people them is interested in them being arrested and prosecuted. I get time for war crime code. You put Ali Masale jail for killing your man, Astaghfirullah subhanallah, God forbid, it will not bring your man a power by. I get time for that thing. Yes, as I said. And this issue about the former president Horst fire incident last night, the only thing, thank God, there was no severe damage that went on. As they said, they are calling on independent investigation to go on. But the city, like what Mr. Kane said, the Unity Party, they had to focus on rescuing the nation and forget about George Weah and the CDC. You people already won the election. You had to be focused. And when George Weah was in power, he never had time for you going after you running here and there. When Joseph Boakai goes, so he there when Eddie. No, he was there to do what he was elected to do. And you say he didn't do nothing. You're kicking out. Now you're focused on what you're supposed to do. Doing Chancellor administration, people say he was a rebel government, this and that. When Chad Brodsky came to that country, the whole airport was choked. The people went to receive him. Chad Taylor, they didn't send police there. He didn't send AFL there. You see, during George Weah administration, when your hero went to the country, Heron Pedro Costa, you choked that whole airport, you went to receive him. He never had time. But why anytime when they make coming, when they say 4 o'clock in the morning, you will be sending armed men. People will be trooping to that airport to go there. Why all these things are for? You people just making CDC more popular in the country instead of your focusing on what you people were elected to do. I don't think this is the right thing. President Bouaka, we want your government to succeed. When the government succeeds, we the Liberia will succeed. When you fail, the country fail. So forget about George Weah and CDC. If you do your best, Liberian people will put you back 2029. If you mess up, they will kick you out 2029. So that's what I have to say. I'm following the show, guys. I just got to my appointment.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Karen, back to you with the issue of MCC team are here, right? That is the Millennium Challenge. I think they are here to also observe all of the happening back here in Liberia. And, because that's the only way that they will be able to give any kind of money that they want to give. But Mr. Karen, I go back to the issue of political intimidation, harassments, and so forth from the government, because Mr. Masada just stated that there are a lot of attention being given to oppositions or 2 minutes attacks and so forth, then focusing on bettering the life of the people. Mr. Connor, what say you while MCC is here and they're going to be observing? I don't know how long they're going to be here for, but they are here to observe all of the things. And I guess they will go back with their reports. But what say you, Mr. Connor?
No, but let me tell you this. You know, in Liberia, a lot of people don't pay attention to the happenings in the country. They just go by partisanship, tribalism, and country solidarity. And a lot of people, they don't actually focus on what is happening. They have no capacity to know exactly what's going on. And they don't even try to learn or to know what's going on. First of all, what Joseph Baga government people did on that day, I don't know whether you observe something. Before Jowia came, Jowia transit in another country, Jowia was watching everything was going on. But the plane that came first, the plane that landed first, that was the plane where the Millennium Challenge team came on. The people came there, they saw you fighting with civilians, brutalizing people, hating on them. Peaceful civilians that came to say they came to receive their president or their leader. The Millennium Challenge thing, what they fail to realize is that it's not just about money. They take a lot of things into consideration, including human rights, including corruption, including people being allowed to move freely, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of association, also good governance, allowing businesses to move freely as long as they pay their taxes. The people in the country, they came to observe. They're going to have another vote. What in Liberia, they kind of try to make people to believe that, they're going to get Liberia $500,000 or 500 million or this million or this one. The $1 million you're making in the country, why are you doing that one first before you talk about the other one that are coming from outside? We're making millions of dollars in the country. You're stealing that one on a daily basis. Nothing benefiting the people in the country. People are suffering. Few of you taking the money. Remember, let me tell you something. Do you know that almost $380 million being used by these people? And beyond that, just yesterday, when they say Fernando was no longer their speaker, that other guy inflated the budget for the speaker to $5 million. What happened to that money? So they go there, they got all the information. They know exactly the level of corruption going on in the country. They know the level of suffering going on in the country, how the people are suffering. People are not saying it. And those who are coming to act like everything is just, and everything is rosy, those are people then who are the press singer that have been given $20 or put $5 or $10 on their phone to call in and talk. But actual Liberian people are suffering. We can see it. But remember, let me say this and then I will, give back to you and more. The CMC will make government unattractive by doing what? Number one, we will advocate and allow Liberian people to support the idea of reduction of tenure. So that representative and presidential will be 4 years. So people will not be eager that want to be representative. According to Musa Bello, was also the political leader, he said, in fact, the CMC will not get no card to representative, to any representative. You get a salary. Your salary, you can take that one, you can go and take a loan against your salary. The bank will buy your car. But every month you come from your salary. The government so you give you 3,000, 3 or $40,000 car, $80,000 car every 3 years. That money can be saved to provide free school for the Liberian people. The woman who's suffering right now don't even got, $5 to send a child to school. They need to buy book bag or school material, pen and pencil. But they are just taking money and then, stealing the money. That's not enough for them, but they want to squander all the opportunity for businesses. Even though who got businesses, they don't have the ability to go and sell their businesses to the people, to the private sector companies. The same government people going, buying cars and putting it in those businesses. Regular Liberian people, they don't have that opportunity. Green Mountain, Astrometer, Meter Steel, everybody, to show government officials, trucks, their machines, and all the equipment that will be used in those companies. At the same time, you're taking $15,000, $10,000, not enough for you. Hey, man. What is that for the Liberian people? So that's why it's important that Liberian people come together. This idea of tenure reduction, I'm glad that CMC political leaders have accepted that, that idea that senators should be 6 years, president and representative should be 4 years. And there's enough money in the country right now that are being misallocated that can be saved to undertake all of those projects that Liberian people need and provide free school, also health care for the Liberian people. So it's about time Liberian people think wisely and know that these people, they are not here to destroy our country. And the best you can do is to stand up against them. Either do it now or you can wait 2029, you do it.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Khan, because actually myself, I join you and all of the rest of the team. I think that's the best way to go, even though I have some international news that I'll be asking you and Mark with this kind of, I don't know whether it's strange or is something that is just happening the few times that have to do with the elections results the few time in Africa. So I think when they turn in positions, I think that will also help a lot of people and put our leaders, maybe put their feet to the fire so that they'll be able to do the right thing. But Mark, let me ask you this question because there are a lot of things happening now around the world, especially right here in Africa, where they are now becoming a trend. I don't know what our democracy in Africa is now maybe getting mature, we say, day by day, where we are getting this report from Malawi that President Lazarus has considered defeat to former President Peter Mutharika. What your own take, Monk, and that to you, Mr. Khan, about that monster, Monk? What say you? Because also in Guinea, we saw similar thing where the Guineans, in fact, they went for referendum the few times to have their junta leader or taking part into the elections, and also increasing the tenure. I don't know how can we threaten to reduce our tenure to at least 5 or 4 years, but they are increasing to 7 years. But what say you, Mom, with the latest trend?
Well, it's a trend. I don't think it's a trend because when you have 54 countries and it only happen in, let's say, 2 or 3 countries, that's not insufficient data. The one thing that I want people to understand is no 2 countries are the same, right? No two political cycles are the same. They are setting dynamics that can change the whole trajectory of an election. So you cannot say because the people re-elected the previous leader in Ghana and Malawi, so the same could be said for Liberia. I don't think that is the case. The thing is, the people who are voting, they keep score. They know what president did in office, and they know the kind of accomplishments in comparison to the next president. That's why I keep saying for other countries, a race to the top. What you can do, I can do better. In the case of Liberia, it's race to the bottom. The two politics or the two political institutions will keep putting against each other. They are any good. That's why in Ghana, or Muhammad could come back because people saw what Ghana achieved on him. Even though Akufo-Addo did better, because they say, okay, if Akufo-Addo is not on the stage, maybe it makes sense going back to Muhammad because Akufo-Addo came and expanded on some of the infrastructure development or some of the good things that Muhammad did. So it makes sense going back to Muhammad. Not in the case of Liberia. That what made Liberia case is totally different. People look at the pros and the cons. They do the calculation. They look at economy, look at the inflation. They look at jobs creativity and the way the president governed, the governance process, what is it about fight on corruption. Can you make the same argument in the case of Liberia? No. In Liberia, all our comparison is on the negative. You cannot name something positive. CDC stole money from the central bank, United Party King and stole more. CDC a row fund, so we cannot use the same benchmark that the people of Malawi and Ghana use. That's why I keep saying we need a viable third option, because in the case of Liberia, these two political institutions are only causing more problems than solutions. That's why I don't like that argument that other countries electing their previous or former leader. No, I'm not buying that in Liberia. I'm not falling for that. But I turn it over to you guys.
Well, good. Before Mr. Kane come on, I was looking at maybe our democratic maybe process, because like before the issue of overthrowing leaders and causing chaos and so forth, fighting back to back, I think they were just normal thing. But I think to see our people maybe just going to maybe into elections and that, I think for me, I see that as one of the best thing to do than breaking war, causing violence and so forth. But Mr. Kane, what say you? They'll go back to the tenure position where also in Guinea, we the citizens there, they have their own referendum, increasing the tenure of president to 7 years, while we're fighting here to reduce it, I need to 4 or 5 years. Well, go ahead, Mr. Kane.
I didn't say who's busy.
Okay, good. Yeah, someone, then I just pick up from there. What say you with the tenure process? Because the first time in Guinea, there was the referendum that were here, and also in a referendum, they will be allowing their junta leader to also partake, and also there are a little increase in the presidential term or tenure. But what say you, Liberia? Here we are already crying because of 9 years that were given to our leaders. Sometimes they just throw jabs at us and so forth. But what say you?
Look, the citizens in the country, they are not stupid, right? All over the world, they keep track of events happening in the country. I told you, when you look at history, all the successful countries in the world, when you look at their foundation, their past, most of them have military leaders. Military leaders come with discipline. I'm not saying that they are the most perfect people, but when it comes to governing, when it comes to structure and discipline, military leaders are capable of accomplishing things, right? As opposed to their fancy political leaders and all that stuff. The reason people want to increase the tenure because they are seeing results. It's natural for human beings to behave that way. If you were to carry a referendum now in Burkina Faso, what do you think the people will say? They want increase because they are seeing a bearing fruit. How you think a party can be bearing power for more than 20 years going to 30 years? Because when people are seeing results, when they are experiencing success, they want the party to continue. You cannot make the case for Liberia. That's the difference with Liberia. Liberia is unique to any other country in the world. So things that work in other places, you cannot assume that they work in Liberia. For me, if I have my own will based on performances, I want to get it in 3 years because 4 years is too much for me. Because the reason when you cut the time shorter, first of all, you put pressure on them to deliver that one. 2, it gives you an opportunity that if they fail to perform, you can replace them quickly. 6 years is a long time. Let young people die in year 11, right? You don't have forever on this planet. We are all passing through. You don't have time to waste. Time is the most important commodity on this planet. The most valuable resources in our entire life is time. You don't have time to waste in life. So, like I said, When people see tangible result, they will want the party to keep going, and they will call for a referendum to let that president to stay in power because of the result. You don't want to do the same in a country that keep going down the drain, where you got more poverty, everybody breaking down, every institution, your central bank, your finance ministry is being bankrupt, people stealing, people piling on payroll, and you got political target here, people weaponizing state power to go after the individual or political opponent. No, you don't want to extend tenure in the case of Liberia. You want to reduce it. So like I will say again for 1,000 times, just because something is happening somewhere else in the world, it doesn't necessarily mean that that thing will happen in Liberia. People are seeing sources. Look at Ethiopia. Look at Ivory Coast. Look at Rwanda. Look at Botswana. These countries are doing exceedingly well. So it makes sense for the people to call for an increase in tenure position because what? They are seeing sources. They are living sources. You cannot make the case for Liberia, my brother. And maybe I always say something in the show when it comes to the thing about protests and people jumping on the street. I told you, a worried investor is scared in a way. The whole thing, I want to put it into a stop. Me, I believe moving forward, when you're a former president, you come to the country, you're going to meet your president at your party headquarters. Maybe on a Monday, right? Look at it from a bigger standpoint. I live in this great country. Former president, and whether it was Jimmy Carter, Bush, Obama, they stay around. Some of these countries got more than 5 living presidents that stay alive today. I have never seen any former president get on the screen. People just take to the screen. No, you're talking about Monday, the first day of the work week, and people just on top of cars and they are going to the airport. The other one blocking traffic. I mean, it's very unnecessary. I mean, you can employ a political leader, and it's not only about George Weah, it's to any future former president. These things need to be put to an end. It's total distraction. It scares people away. It makes the town to look tense. Look, remember when people come to Liberia, they can be like, are these people really normal? Because these things are not normal. I was in Ghana, I saw the late President Rollins and the left power, and how they call himself, man, former Professor Atta Milton. No people going, the guy got 1 or 2 security in a regular car. Why do you want to be having convoy and people blinking light, people setting all on car like rebel and everybody in no, come on, man. Those stuff is unnecessary. They are unnecessary. Moving forward, let our people, y'all go to your party headquarters. I'm not even encouraging your government to use excessive force, but I mean the optics alone is just not good for the country from an investment standpoint, from a security standpoint. Go to your political leader house. You can go to your party headquarters. You can make all your one, but the whole thing about blocking traffic, Bwaka coming, then people standing in line and where you need it, but no, that's nonsense. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world that I know of. Only in that one ugly and dirty country, this nonsense always happening. We always entertain the wrong thing in society. And like I said, the government has no right to go and use force on people, but I'm just saying from the bigger standpoint, it's not necessary at all. It's just unnecessary distraction. And it just disrupts.
Well, more when people are less basic, all these things.
I know.
So
now they read that too.
Kind of way that you want to put it, that's the thing there, because people have nothing to do more.
Nothing to do.
If you have job, people are basic. Who's going to do all of these things? But again, back to the same politicians. That's the game they played.
Yep.
They play on the people. They use the people, and they benefit from the people. So for me, I don't care how you talk here, my dear brother. These same people will still go back and meet anybody that they want to meet, as long as it's in their interest, as long as it makes them happy socially. Because we're talking about social issues, some people say because
and now with a drink they got 200 Monday. For people who are less busy. Man, you get a hustle, you get to go Monday to go stay in rain to go while you get a family to feed.
That's the thing. So for us, that's the kind of thing. Yeah, man, let me tell I forget. I mean, so Conan want to take part. Yeah, man, but I'll be taking 1 minute.
Yeah, get close to the show.
Yeah, I forgot over there, but go ahead. Yeah, exactly. Today we just choose. Yeah, go ahead.
Great topic and fascinating topic. There are 2 things that you talk about, and I just wanted to live a light on the depth. This issue about hello.
Yeah, hello. We'll listen to you quickly. No time, please.
The issue about the legal challenge in Liberia
this country, he talking about there's a play in 6 years or whatever year to talk about $30 billion or $3 billion, whatever amount he talking about. But the government of Liberia is running behind the little child for $500 billion. They're running behind it, and they're not even meeting up with the critical criteria of that money. They're violating this on a daily basis, especially the very day before arriving in that country, and you brutalize some people. You know, I told somebody yesterday, if people are not in the government for any reason, the government should lose this opportunity. It should be on this government. Liberia should lose it, should be on this government.
All right, thank you. All right. All right, but it'll be tomorrow. We hope that you come on tomorrow. Some of you, you come on the show so that we can be part of the entire, because we got to talk. I don't care how you feel, maybe what you think about. Well, it's up to you. But Mark, thank you so much, and good night to you. We see you on tomorrow by the grace of the Almighty God. And to all of you, our supporters, our followers, our well-wishers, all of you, let me say good night to all of you. Thanks to the team headed by Mr. Sekou Kane and the rest of the team. But good night to all of you. See you when we see you. I'm Johnson Maybon Kula.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We're talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to sell. Blessing that time and that effort are rest. The project is giving us here the premise of death. So welcome my life with African.
I lyrical
Master.
Clear Paris, who make you, I can't Sktv-Lib. C'est ma chérie, tu n'as qu'à assez ma gamme. And he's a no money, and moi, yo. And he love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Muscle rather lofa and grandbaza.
And I delay ya to money, and I salia ya to money, and I quantity ya to money, and I could buy ya to money, and I delay ya to money, and I salia ya to money, and I quantity ya to money, and I could buy ya to money, and I forget it now ya to money. That's the thing, and I forget it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Muscle rather lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to sell. The blessing that time and our efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the premise my best. To work with my life with Africa. From Grandpa to Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chide, from Grand Crew, Bombay, Cape Town, Montserrat, San to Backwater, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.